Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. Happy New Year. I know I said that on Monday, but I'm going to say it to you again. Happy New Year. Hey, and if you listen to Daily Dose Radio across YouTube, I hope you'll go to the YouTube page and subscribe. Just click on the subscribe button there, and that'll help me a lot. YouTube likes to count beans, and part of the bean counting they do is how many subscribers you have. I have a lot of listeners, but just a few subscribers. So if you can go there and subscribe, that'd be great. And YouTube will then, what they do is, according to the number of subscribers, then they'll start showing your material to more and more potential people, because they say, well, he's got so many people subscribed. It must be a pretty good program. We'll show it to other people who are interested in this kind of content. So go to the YouTube and subscribe to the channel if you could. That'd be wonderful. Today, we're looking at Psalm 119, verse 24. This is the last verse in the Gimel section. So we began with this beautiful prayer in 17, 18, and 19. We had a confession there in 20. And then in 21, 22, we had this comparison contrast. It was great. Those that err from the commandments contrasted with the psalmist who is keeping the testimonies. And then 23, another confession. Princes also did sit and speak against me. See, now we come to a confession, and we end out this section with this confession. Thy testimonies are also my delight and my counselors. The testimonies have shown up here now twice. We had testimonies there in verse 22. Remove from me reproach and contempt, for I have kept thy testimonies. And now we have them again. Thy testimonies are my delight and my counselors. So the testimonies of the Lord, notice what he calls them, delight and counselors. Now, we've talked about that word delight previously, because we had the passage where he said there in, I think it was the olive section. I think it was in maybe it was the bait section. It was verse 15 and 16. He said, I will delight myself in thy statutes. So delighting myself, I will delight. Now he says, my delight is, thy testimonies also are my delight. So he's delighting in the statutes. Now he compounds that, or he adds to that, and he says, your testimonies are my delight. So what is this idea of delight? We find it here in Psalm 119, and it's connected with the Word, because this is all in praise of the Word. And of course, we're talking about the testimonies being a delight, the statutes being a delight, the precepts are a delight. What are we talking about? Well, this idea of delighting yourself in, or being delighted by, is that idea of joy that rises up, and it's not something that happens naturally, but it's something that happens supernaturally. The Spirit of God does a work in the soul of the believer as we meditate on His Word, and as we think about His testimonies and His judgments and His statutes and His commandments and, all that, His way and everything that, we have here in the Word. As we do that, there's this delight. It's almost something otherworldly, because it's generated by the Spirit of God in the soul of the believer as we meditate and think about and enjoy the Word of God. And it's something that only the believer can do. For others, the Word of God is dry and dead because they're dead inside, because they haven't received Christ yet. They haven't gotten life yet. And so this is only for the person who has that spiritual discernment, the spiritual things discerned by the Spirit. This is that delight. Not only are they His delight, but he says they're His counselors. That is, they give Him direction about how He should go. So let the Word be your delight and your counselors today. Join me again next week, and we'll look at the Dalit section on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.